Hello and welcome to Queenie's Card of the Month for February. I know, everybody was waiting for January to be over with. And I'll tell you what, I know that January was He of the Fiery Sword, and it was about inspired action. I bet that you didn't think that the inspired action that you were going to have to take was going to be sometimes something very unpleasant. But January was kind of an intense month. My feelings about it were that it was like concentrated in intensity. There was a lot of good, bad, indifferent. It's like life. There's ups and downs and everything. But January felt really kind of concentrated to me. Anyway, but we're in February now, so things have shifted a little bit. If you are into astrology, Venus is no longer in retrograde, although Mercury is going to be going into retrograde in a few days. Today is February 2nd. But the card of the month for February, the energy around February is, her name is Laiste, or Laiste, the moon's daughter. Okay, so what's hilarious about this card and the meaning of this card is I looked at it, I pulled it and I looked at it and I went, wow, I haven't gotten this card in a long time for myself. So I was having a really hard time remembering, what this card was about. And then when I read the reading, the meaning of the card out of the book that the lovely Jessica Macbeth wrote the words for, channeled meanings for, I thought, oh, no wonder. Yeah. Okay. So, Laiste, the moon's daughter, she has a tendency to come in and shine light in areas that are normally shadow. She's kind of like moonlight, though. It's a very subtle light that she casts, which means that the messages for this month are not going to be the kind of messages that will hit you over the head or are of the Mack truck variety, which we all really love to hate. The messages this month are a little more subtle. They might come to you in dreams. They might come to you in just hunches. And they might come to you not so directly because the type of messages that this energy likes to give are fluid, or are subtle and sensitive and fluid, and you really have to kind of be still and pay attention and watch things unfold. This card also says that this is a month of being able to kind of watch the patterns unfold. So last month was taking inspired action and knowing when to act, when not to, when to say yes, when to say no, and really kind of learning that in a very concentrated but forceful sort of way. And this month it kind of asks us to step back just a little bit more into, because that was He of the Fiery Sword, which is more like the divine masculine. February is like, okay, all right, we've done a lot of acting. Now let's see what we made. We did some stuff. Now let's see what we created. Let's see what sort of, it's like she gives an overview of the patterns that are unfolding in your life, but in such a subtle way that you have to kind of slow down in order to hear, or in order to see, or in order to feel them. So she's all about receiving subtle messages, in dreams, in waking hours, in conversations that you randomly overhear, or just hunches that you get. You know how sometimes when you finally clear your head and you're, sometimes it happens when I'm in the shower. I get a really good idea. It's awesome. And I'm like, wow, why didn't I think of that before? Well, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't clean before. I don't know. But the messages are kind of like that. It's not like a giant blaze of light or a big light bulb going on over your head. It's more like all of a sudden you're walking in the dark and you're walking in the dark, and then all of a sudden you see this little tiny pinpoint of light, like somebody shining a flashlight over your shoulder, and pointing it into a corner that you didn't look in before, and the answer's there, or at least part of the answer, or at least the beginning of an answer, or, something that begins to have things unfold in a way that's more easy to understand. So, I like this card, and it's so funny that I was just blocked. I was like, what? Oh crap, what does this card mean? I know there's another one that's kind of similar, but more mischievous, because there's another card that's similar to Laiste, Epona's Wild Daughters, and that's more mischievous and more riddle like, yeah, answers to riddles. But this is where your wisdom lies, and she shows you where your wisdom lies, or the energy of this card shows you where your wisdom lies. And where your wisdom lies is not necessarily in the well-lit, well-walked paths. Your wisdom might lie in the darkness in you, in examining and uncovering and figuring out a way to constructively express the shadow that we all hold inside ourselves. I personally feel that I have been kind of exploring that shadow area myself, and it's not for the faint of heart, but at least it feels like February with this card that there will be a shift into the more subtle, rather than shocking me into yeah, that wound is still there. Rah. This will be more, oh, okay, all right. Oh, but there's wisdom there. Here's where I can learn from it. Here's where it's a gift. Here's where I can understand it better. Here's where I can understand myself and understand the way I respond to things more, and understand the way people respond to me, and really kind of watch the patterns unfold and get more of an understanding on how they unfold in your life, and which ones you need to let go of and which ones seem to be working for you. So I would say that this month is about receiving subtle messages, getting quiet and receiving subtle messages. That doesn't mean that you stop and, yoga posture up and get into meditation for hours and hours and hours. What this card talks about is being able to see those subtle messages, or sense those subtle messages in your everyday life. When you're doing the dishes, when you're at the store, in your dreams, when you are doing yoga, when you are meditating, just whatever you do in your everyday life. This is not asking you to take on anything different, or do anything different. This is asking you to notice the things that you are doing. This is asking you to notice how you feel and what sort of messages that you get about how you feel with the things that you are just doing, or the things that you have to do every single day. I drive a ways away to go to a job every day. I have about 45 minutes in the car, and sometimes a half an hour, sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half on the way home. But I can use that quiet time to listen to music, to think, to sort out problems, to release feelings. The car is a great place to do that. Well, it's a great place to get still and receive messages too. So, here we go. This month, February, it is not about inspired action, even though when you feel it, you ought to take it. It is about the subtle messages. And I want to repeat something that I said because it feels very, very pertinent to me. My gut says that it feels very, very pertinent, is that the messages that you get and the insights that you get are going to be more like, while you're kind of running around in the dark, spinning your wheels, there's somebody behind you, some gentle someone behind you with a soft flashlight like moonlight that'll shine in just the corner that you need them to shine in. They'll shine that light on just the answer that you need, but you have to stop and you have to let it happen, and then you have to kind of focus your eyes, because you know how hard it is. Like, sometimes things are really, really clear in the bright light of day, but in moonlight, that's a more subtle lighting. That's a more subtle. So February is a month of receiving more subtle answers. And I think this was long enough. Happy February. I love you all. And if you have questions about the card of the month, or would like a card of the month of your own in your email box, explained, personal for you, you can go ahead and contact me or find me at my website at Erin Shannon, ErinShannon.squarespace.com. And there's an option to subscribe to monthly, to get your own personal monthly card reading. If not, I will still see you every month on video. Have a wonderful month, and we'll see you in March. Love you. Bye.